Hi, I'm Dianemarie Collins.
And I'm Russ Devan.
And we are going to talk about baby boomers.
Here on the Wake Up America Media Network.
And that's because Russ and I are both baby boomers.
You know, and I was just telling DM that I didn't realize I was a baby boomer until that term was coined sometime in the late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out exactly when it was, but we think that's about it.
And you know, it's interesting because when you think about it, with World War II and Korea, both my brothers were born post-World War II, and I shortly after my father came home from Korea. And right up into the early 60s, that whole generation has been a defining generation in the United States, our culture. Look at the changes in just music and taste in music that took place in the 60s and the 70s. And I personally feel that those changes are defining moments in music because they influenced all the music of today.
Oh, absolutely. And as I was talking to Russ off camera too, I talked about how our generation, now I was born after my dad came home from World War II, so we had that. First of all, we changed kindergarten. There was a whole bunch of us. Then we needed more schools for grade school and high school, and then colleges suddenly had enrollment surge on them. And basically, as you said, we did not have that term thrown upon us. We knew we were this force coming through because of our sheer numbers. As we always like to say, well, you know, you got back from the war and you had to get busy, and they did. Our parents got busy.
Yeah.
And most of us had, my dad's sister had 7 children, pardon me. My parents had 3, but I had another cousin who came from a family of 5. Bigger families then, and so we were indeed a full force of just people. Now we're reaching that point in our lives where we are looking at needs that behind us, we supported the greatest generation through their Social Security and all of that. Now behind us, we have less numbers, and that's a concern. What do you think we're going to do about that?
Well, I don't know. You know, you've thrown me into this class of aging, which I'm
not ready to go there.
I don't know how well I'm really doing with that, but I will tell you this: I have become more and more concerned for my generation, and you're right. Now we are seniors.
Getting there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they start calling us. And you know, it's interesting because the seniors in our society, there were numbers to take care of them, as you pointed out.
Yes,
but
sure.
The biggest generation in terms of the population explosion has taken care, or you know, maybe not even as adequately as we could, but we've taken care of our elderly, and now we're starting to think about what happens to us.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how that comes about. First of all, another thing about the baby boomers which plays into that is it is the greatest economic force. It has reshaped the globe financially.
That's what you talked about.
And we have driven the financial machine. And now there's all kinds of things. There's health concerns. Look how we have had an impact on health control.
Absolutely.
Look at the prevention movement. That's largely
That's
because of us.
Yeah,
Boomers, because we finally figured out that getting sick was costly.
Yeah.
You know, so now
and we didn't want to get old like we saw our parents and grandparents get.
And we are living longer.
Yes.
Yeah, we are living longer. So now there's the possibility of us living into our 90s, even a greater possibility than there was for our parents.
Absolutely.
My mother died at the age of approaching her 93rd year. My father just before his 91st birthday, and I was blessed to have him for such a long time. But my point is, you know, I'm concerned about the quality of life. I'm concerned about how to pay for it, and I know there's millions of baby boomers like us that are.
Absolutely.